A lone gunman rushed the Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis on Wednesday morning, shattering the prayers and the worship of the children gathered to start their day in chapel. Listen, these should be the best days of a child's life. But once again, we are talking about another school shooting, the death of 2 children, the injuries to 17 more children and teachers, and families who are now forever changed by this tragic shooting. Although there are still more questions than answers, Annunciation in Minneapolis has become the 44th school shooting in America in 2025. This, according to CNN's analysis of events reported by organizations like the Gun Violence Archive, Education Week, and Everytown for gun safety. One source I read from BBC and CNN recently showed school shootings since 1927. Now, listen to this. There were only about 6 incidents in the 40 years between 1927 and 1965. After that 40-year range, there's been a steady rise and cycle that has been repeated 60 times. That's about 1 per week. Here's some more history. The past few years in American teen life have been violent. Maybe one of the most volatile we have seen in the 25 plus years since Columbine High School shooting in Colorado. How much worse does it have to get? See, my parents' generation was settling these issues by dealing with the teacher in a meeting, by spanking their child when they got home, or having a parent-child meeting in the principal's office, or even in the neighborhood with the parents involved. My generation settled it at the playground or the bus stop with a vigorous wrestling match, sometimes even our fists. And we were friends with our counterpart shortly after that. Now, I'm not talking about a return to those bullying kinds of things. This generation today is dealing with these same issues in different ways. Dropping out of school, social media shaming, bullying, gangs, and shooting each other with guns in the hallway or the cafeteria. Listen, again, I'm not talking about an aggressive return to problem solving. Actually, I'm talking about something completely different and much better. That is the state of the family in America and conversations that we should be having with young people. The debate today will be about mental health, gun control, hardened schools, and rightly so. However, there is a looming issue in America that must be addressed, and that is the state of the family in America. Conversations and communication between adults and children. Listen, the sociological signs are evident. The shooter has walked the same destructive path as other shooters have walked. It's a recognizable pattern. A student is hurt or bullied in some way. A student isolates themselves. A student gets caught in violent gaming or videos in their bedroom. A student reads threads of violence and anger on social media. A student is filled with images and violent conversations from music and movies. A student discovers an infatuation with weapons or other serial killers. A student plans how to get back at the people or the system that hurt them. The parent-child family relationship is disjointed and broken, and ultimately, a student has no one to talk to. What do the conversations look like with our children? How do we have these kind of simple conversations? Now, I understand that conversation could be a solution to the rising violence in schools, but it's not always easy. It is good to have conversations about political bends or leans, discussions about guns and gun laws, the police presence at schools, hardened schools with metal detectors or one-entry campuses, and even mental health counseling. Those are all important conversations. Listen, we can compare gun laws in Japan or Australia. Talk about whether guns shoot themselves or cars drive drunk. Debate from a Democratic or Republican interpretation of the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights, or even demand that it all started when prayer was taken out of our schools. See, here's my ideal solution to the kind of talk we should be having with this generation right now. A solution that can solve the problem before the gun or weapon or media or hardened schools issues. Here are 5 discussions to have with teenagers in America right now about the rise of violence and school shootings and their own personal identity. Listen, these 5 conversations need to take place. Number 1, how about a conversation with manners? Listen, I truly believe that an elementary discourse like manners can lead people to deep change in faith. Teaching basic manners and social skills at an early age can be formative for behavioral development. Saying please and thank you, holding the door for someone, deferring in the lunchroom line, sitting with lonely students in a cafeteria, helping a freshman student find a room, and even smiling, right? Recognizing someone with eye contact could be revolutionary acts of kindness that could change individuals, a campus, and ultimately society. We must reach students to solve the problems they are going through with communication. If we can break down communication and understand that this digital native issue is removing students from conversation, then we could finally get somewhere, right? Ask teens questions and get them talking. Ask them about their hobbies, about school, friends, goals, and their dreams. We need more parents and guardians and siblings to lead the home with good, practical conversations. Conversations of depth that include Bible reading or worship or current events discussion or why am I feeling the way I am or what happens after a breakup or a bad grade. Ultimately, these conversations at home can help with our problem solving. Number 4, youth development. Youth development must take place in a comprehensive conversational relationship with Gen Z and Alpha Gen. We can have these conversations at home and get into the understanding of the psyche or the mindset of a teenager by simply asking them deeper conversations, especially as youth leaders, right? Finally, number 5, unconditional love. A culture that can be built upon unconditional love and relationship is a culture that kills isolation, kills judgment, and kills cynicism. Because that kind of conversation of love and unconditional love will open students up to acceptance. Unconditional love and acceptance is a relationship builder. Unconditional acceptance in our homes, churches, schools could become viral, a viral relationship building tool between adults and students. Listen, we need counseling, we need mental health, we need hardened school discussions, we need gun control talk. We need all of these kind of things that will take place. It is a compilation of conversations to solve this problem of violence and school shootings. Spiritual, legislative, social, institutional, civil, corporate, all of these play a part in building a relationship with teenagers so that when they leave our homes, they're not killing each other. See, what happens in conversation is trust. What happens in conversation is relationship building. Conversations with teenagers so that we can help them process the feelings that they have. Feelings that would lead to other kinds of behavior, anger issues, right? So have these conversations, bring these to your small group, open them up with your children at a dinner table, right? and see if we can avoid some of these dangerous events like school shootings just through simple conversation. Listen, I know it's idealistic, right? But give it a try, because I think you will see that the trust that is built in conversation is trust that can change the perspective of a teenager, that will help us deal with the kind of issues that we are dealing with in this moment right now. The Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis is reeling. Families are backing up and taking a look at everything that's going on right now. Prayer is the first response that makes actions effective, right? Listen, God bless you. Thank you for joining me just for a few moments. And you can watch this on our YouTube channel. You can read the manuscript at youthology.com. And you can also listen to this on the iTunes or the Spotify podcast, and many resources that we have that will be helpful in this discussion on violence and in the aftermath of this recent shooting in Minneapolis.